Good morning. Here we go. This is going to be a long overview because here we are on a yearly chart. Yearly. I know that sounds crazy, but let's take a look at where we are. Those are, huh. Okay. So here's the yearly of the QQQs. Now I can just count this out in my head. That's a 1, 2. It's real easy because you just go to the reds. And here's a 3, 4 on a smaller scale. And here's your 3, 4 on a, this is a super cycle scale because this is the yearly. This is the entire life of the Qs. So here's a 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have been in wave 5. That's why people have been calling for the end. That's why so many people call for the end of the run right now, because we are in a wave 5. And we are, look at this on the yearly, we closed out with a doji. Look how ominous is that? That's pretty crazy, huh? So, but then when I turn my charts back on and we know that we're in this wave 5 here. So without knowing that, because I didn't look at these yearly charts when I was doing these wave analysis with everyone on these chats, this is how I have this 5. I knew we were in a wave, right? Now we know it's a 5 wave. So this is where we are in the 5 wave. We've finished the 3. So we are almost done. I mean, we've just got these numbers up here, which is why I say that we're probably going to end this run this year. My guess is the election cycle, November. That'll end the run. But if we now we zoom in on the quarterly just to get closer to see where we are. And you can see that 3 wave ended in 2021 and the 5 wave began in 2023. So let's just see how long the 1 wave was, just out of curiosity. 2002 until 2009. 7 years. So we should get about 7 years out of this run. and it began in 2023. So that would put us about 2030. Usually you get about 20 years out of a bull run. This is a 20-year cycle. Um, that lines up with a lot of other cycles, but a 20-year cycle is generally what you get out of a bull run. And this bull run started in 2009. So that puts it 2029, which would be 100 years from the last crash. And I have it a little earlier than that. I have it this year, the end of this year, but we'll see, because it won't. I mean, it's not going to fall off a cliff. I mean, it might, but it will at first, but because it's going to be the end of a super cycle. So it will have like a 1 day huge drop, but then you'll bounce back up, and then you'll start falling off a cliff. That recovery will fail. But yeah, okay. So here we are on the quarterly in this wave 5 that we're in. And you can see that the 3 was in July of 2024. The 4 started April of 2025. That was when I said for everyone to buy that dip. That was going to be big. And we've floored out of here because we're in the 5 of 5. And now we're getting into the 5 of 5 of 5. And it's time to get some parachutes, kids. But these, this is, this is probably going to rocket up. Like something we've never seen on a scale on this. And it'll probably be market wide for a lot of stocks. It'll get people to chase. It'll get euphoria. And that's why I think like we'll hit 700 quickly. Yeah, that's no joke. I think we could get the highs in this year into the 1,000, and we'll probably tag 1,000 or get over 1,000. So look at where we are right now, 620. I mean, that's a huge. I mean, we're talking almost 50% in a year, and it'll have people going crazy. The euphoria will be so, just everyone will be chasing it. And then it'll end. But let's go in closer here with the monthly, because this is where I started looking before I went to this yearly and looked at that and said, wow, we're in a 5 of 5 and we just dojied. And I think this doji, we come screaming out of here to the blow off top. That's what I think. Here's the quarterly, and look at that. The quarterly 660. So by April 660. That's not a huge move, but I think we can start pushing out of this and pushing it up. We'll see. The monthly. This is what I've been looking at. These double dojis on the monthly after this hanging man. This hanging man shows me that the bears at the top, or the sellers, let's just call them the sellers because I'm sure it was people taking profit. The sellers unloaded, and then buyers bought it right back up. And the next month, they did the same thing, except they held above the previous month. So now we're taking all that selling and we're buying it back up. Now I will give the bears that this could roll over, and it would be, my drop on that puts us right around here, right in the 560 range, 555 to 560. I think we would drop to. But again, I think that would be Bible, because I think we've got the one more wave coming out of here that's going to pop. I think we pop now, just my personal bias. And that doesn't mean we couldn't drop to, 613, I think I have. 613 and pop right back out. Obviously, I'm weary of this drop down here because I'm telling you about it, but me being weary is not loading up on puts. Me being weary is looking at what I want to buy if it starts to drop. And we'll look at the VIX in a minute when I'm done with this. Because that's going to tell the story too. Because the VIX we entered an area of higher volatility. Right back here, this area we crossed, the VIX did. But we'll look at that later. So anyways, on the monthly, I think we've been eating this volume up. And I think we pop out of here in an explosive move. That's my bias. And then look again when we put here's the 1, 2, that 3 ended in November. The 4, we either have ended or it's going to do this correction out of here that I have down at 564. See this one here? I mean, we may follow that. See, on this scale, we could have already done the 1, 2 already within this candle, and we could be shooting out of here. So that's the downside. But again, this monthly, this is turning up. So I don't expect this huge drop. If we get a drop, I expect it to be bought up. A quick drop and bought up. But so that 4 would be ended here. And that would put us on the 5 of 5. So this is it. This is the last hurrah for the QQQ run. And what this means is that when this, and I mean, look at it, you can tell that we're close to the end of something. I mean, obviously, especially the way this is I think this is going to end. I mean, we've got, where's July, because we have the 250-year centennial on July 4th. So if you don't think they're not going to pump the markets and blast off into there, you're crazy. So here is, let's go to November's too far, September right here. So this date right here, look down where the RSI is. See that line here? See this line here? I think we go, well, I think we go 700 right quickly. But I think we could go up into here and maybe as high as here. So look how parabolic and crazy that would get. And that's the euphoria I'm talking about. People will chase this like mad. But it's coming to an end. So then we go to the weekly. Here you can see the 1, 2. Now we've gone up 3, 4. And this is still all part of the 4. We haven't broken out of the 4 yet. So we've made no waves here. This is a flat. I think it's a, I actually think this entire thing here is a volatility squeeze. I think it's bending like this because they can't sell it. People keep taking profit. People keep shorting it, and buyers keep stepping in. And it's just, that's what I think this is. And this is either going to, like I said, it's either going to spit out or launch up. And we look at now where all our lines are. And we can see our 1, 2 here. And you can see that we've come down, we've corrected 23%. I mean, we've met our minimum correction here for a 4 wave. So here's your 3, 4, or the 4 is going to come down here. Either way, whatever. But there's your 3, 4, and then we're gone. And the target for that, let's see what we would be on a squeeze target. Let's see what we would get if we squeeze out of here. $8.13 all the way up to $9.57, just like I was talking about. $8.13 to $9.57 coming out of here. I think it's gonna get euphoric and crazy. Let's take these off. And now let's go down to the daily. You see, this daily, this still doesn't scare me. I mean, we can drop a bit here, like I see. 618, that's hardly anything. I mean, we could come down here, 612, and then come up. But this is higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So higher high, higher high, higher high. I mean, this is a bullish structure. Um, I I'm of the belief. Look, this is the 50 turning up, even on the daily, and look at it on the weekly, monthly. Yeah, I mean, I think we've been sitting here just just hanging around it this entire time because we're getting ready to blast off from it one last time. One last big hoorah like this. Just boom, take off. See it curling up just like this. Just like this. This is 2024. This was the April of 2024, and this was the Powell uh, Powell in the summer at Jackson Hole. I remember that. But that was a huge run from April until July, end of July. And that was a massive run. And what do we have? We have the 4th of July, and yeah. So I'm looking, where'd we start? Right here. I'm looking for something just like this to start blasting off. And this is what I was expecting. A move up to come down and then take off. I thought we would have been going up in January and then coming down real quick at the end of this month and then taking off, which is what we did, but we did it on such a small scale. I mean, I was actually looking back here to blast out and then come down and then take off. But look how it just is all contained right here, all within this. And I think we're just going to start peeling up, start taking off. That's my personal opinion. Let's see what we have for too many lines. So let's go to the VIX. Whoa. And I know this is the S&P, but we work with what we have. So you can see this low here. 2024. Oh, I need to go way out. Okay. 2017, 2018 was when we set this low right here because we haven't broken this low. Not only this low, but we haven't broken this low in 2018. And so we've made this would be a 1, and then this would be a 1 2, just series of 1 2s, although this isn't moving in 5, it's moving in 3 and 3 3. And so where we are now, see how it's getting ready to turn up. Where else have we turned up? Right here. And we got a huge spike coming off of a candle that's similar to this. But we're right at the 50. I'm just talking this out in my head. I'm looking at this with you. We're below the mid Bollinger. We're below the 50. We're below the 5 on a quarterly scale. But the RSI is turning up. Ooh, what do we look like on a yearly? Look at the Bollingers pinching. I mean, this is going to make a huge move. I mean, this is telling you that, hey, VIX is going to make a huge move soon. And this is a yearly. So soon are in air quotes. But this is getting ready to make a move, a big move. On a yearly scale. So here we are with the Bollingers narrowing. I think we're going to crush down one last time. Just one last time. But let's see. Let's continue down. See where we are. Oh, let's see what I have for lines here. Too many lines, huh? We're past that. And we're past that. I think we're out of that. And this is probably irrelevant. Okay. So now we're left with a channel. And then this breakout line, it looks like, at 35. And that's the holy crap line. I think we're going to explode past that. Okay. Monthly. I like this trend line. This is turning up on the monthly too. I mean, we are so close. I can see why people are calling for an end right now. I mean, the VIX looks close. And that, I mean, you are never guaranteed 5 waves. Look at that 5 turning up on the weekly. But we're still below the 50 has crossed over the 200. We are still below them. This is wild. It's going to be a wild time here. 50's turning down and the 200's turning down. On the daily, I think we can push down out of this. That's just my opinion on the daily. And that would push us down to almost 14 again. I think we actually go much lower than that. We'll see. I think we are in an era of higher VIX. And I think this run in the Qs I think this run will have quite a few quick drops within it that I think will spike the VIX back up. So I think the VIX will be spiking quite a bit. I think we'll have high VIX and high market. Let's look at UVIX. Because the UVIX looked like it wanted to break out again too. Although it ended on a doji. Turning up. See, this shows no real life like the RSI. But the weekly and daily do look like they could move up. But I still believe we move up. And let's look at something since I don't look at it very often. Let's look at the SPYs. Let's look at the SPY on a yearly. Now here you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So once again, we're in the 5 of 5 on the SPY. Now let's look at the IWM. One, two, 1, 2. Oh. One, two. I think the IWM has a lot higher to go. Just looking at it. Let's go back to the SPY. Let's go down to the quarterly. I think we should break this RSI. We'll see. about the weekly? This looks very similar to the Qs, but these are more bullish candles. Higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high, higher high. I mean, this is a bullish structure. I mean, I can see where people will say, do I have many markings on here? Yeah. I'll see where people will say ascending wedge here. I can see that. I mean, I can see all the negative views. I just don't side with them. I just don't. That's not my belief. Although I see them. Okay, I wanted to look at something else too. On a long scale. Okay. This is just a big 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is your start. This is a 1, 2. So let's see where. Oh. Whoops. There. That's more like it. And we are so close to breaking out of this. That must be a target. What do we want to bet when I draw these? That'll be a target. Okay, here we go. Let's see where energy's going in the future. Ah, 78. And I bet I'm off on a couple of these numbers. I bet it's the actual 72. But this is where we're at. So let's just see. So 78 on energy. And then I expect it to pull back. Before the big run. And I expect us to get up here. Because we're breaking out of this whole move here. So let's shut that off again. Let's go to the quarterly. Again, look, we're leaving the entire lifetime of this. We're just breaking out of it. And look at that. Look at that. I mean, look at this. How can you not get crazy bullish on energy? I mean, we're just getting started. Yeah, look, the 50's just turning up. And this is the place to be. Energy. I wonder if this will let me do comparisons. No. Shoot. That's what I wanted to look at. Let's look at some crypto. See how it's doing. One, two. That's either a 1-2 or a 3-4. Nope, it crossed your 1, so that's a 1-2. 1-2, 1-2. So here's your 3, 4. So Bitcoin's about to blast off into its 5th wave, which again will go this year. And I'm only guessing that the end is November-ish, around the election. I mean, that could just be another drop and then another pump after that. I mean, there's still a bunch of money in the system. Because I expect like a longer run out of Bitcoin, but maybe not. Maybe the people reject the entire system outright. Again, I'm just talking out loud. None of this has anything to do with now. Um, I mean, this week or today, I'm just looking at a market overview on how I view the markets right now. And this is probably getting ready to start a 5 wave. Now, if we come down here, that's another 1 2 1 2. So Bitcoin would take off again. And we are printing a bunch of money, a bunch more money, and it kicks in soon. And I believe they invented these things to eat up some of the inflation because um, we're no longer exporting our debt. So they needed another way to soak up the money so that it doesn't cause hyperinflation, so it doesn't rush into commodities. And so I think they invented these fake commodities to soak up a good portion of that money out of the other commodities, the real commodities. But these get reflected again in energy. So that's where we're going to see the bulk of the move in the future. It's all going to be energy because they need to soak up all this inflation that's coming into the system. And it is hyperinflation. And I'll just do it again. Look at the chart. I mean, you can't tell me that's not inflation. That's that's not that's not normal. I mean, you show anybody that chart. Show anybody that chart. What are they going to tell you? Are we at the beginning or the end? How vertical do you think you get? And what this is this is just the value of your dollar going down. That's all it really represents. Because the companies aren't that much better. There's just more money in the system. They have more control, but they're not better. There's no reason for them to be that much higher other than there's more money in the system. But I was talking about Bitcoin. So all that money, and they're using these assets to soak it up. So I think they will go up with the inflation. Let's look at Bitcoin on a monthly. See, and this is why I have more downside. 63,000. I think I had 59. That would have been the lower here. 59. Yeah. What's the 50 MA here? 57. Yeah, I think 59. So this is why I have a target of 59,000 for Bitcoin. So it's hard to imagine Bitcoin dropping, but the market going up, huh? I have a tough time with that, but Bitcoin is dropping right now. So maybe it can just take it all out. I mean, another big drop. Tomorrow, what would it be to get us to 72? Nothing. And then another drop Monday. Yeah, I don't like these. These are terrible looking charts. And here I'll go with the lines again. once we broke this trend line, that was that was that was danger. We were in danger. And then once we broke this low, we were in get out. And actually, you could have done this low right here, where you see where it did all this testing. That was the get out moment, and then it shot down. So now we're holding this low. But I think we need to drop this RSI all the way down. $59 right at the 200. It's just too convenient for everything. I like 59,000. So do we get a little market sell off and then rally? I don't know. Does the market rally while Bitcoin drops? I don't know. Equally ugly. Yeah, 1800 would be my target coming off this. But that's just a daily. Let's keep going. Oh, 1600 on this. Because that's your Lightning 3. No, Lightning, I think you go down to 1600. I mean, you could go as low as 1400. Now, Ethereum, XRP did something interesting. It held the crash low. So this looks very, whereas Bitcoin broke this, Ethereum broke this, XRP never broke this. So this is still holding up to be very bullish right now. And it takes a lot of faith, and personally, I'm not a buyer, but that is the fact that it's held this low. I mean, it's still just one big candle, and then it's trying to work all the sellers out. This looks very bullish. Yeah, look how it held that. I mean, it may just keep going down, but as long as it holds that, that's very bullish. Let's look at Solana, because I think I had 90,000. Yeah, if it breaks 95,000, then this could go all the way down to 30, 29, $30. Where's that? Where's that flash crash low on this? Yeah, I can't tell where the flash crash is, but I don't like this. This could go all the way to $29. The other one I wanted to look at was Doge. Because I've seen two different charts for Doge. Okay, did we hold the flash crash? Okay, we did. See, I've seen some that showed this taken out, but we have not yet. So Doge also remains bullish. Now, if it takes out this low, it'll sink. And it'll sink to at least here, but probably down to 7 cents, maybe as low as like 5 cents. And then we'll see if it can survive. But so far it's held that November low. November. That wasn't November. That was it? No, it was October. Okay. And when that happened, I said they may have killed their golden goose when they did that. And I was listening to someone else today, and they explained that they explained they killed their golden goose phrasing with what they did was they caused investors to lose confidence in the coins. Yeah, they caused a massive loss of confidence in crypto. So now that confidence needs to be restored. And it's not going to be restored with Michael Saylor losing his company. So that's why crypto when that happened, that's why I cut it out of my position, because when that happened, that was just, I mean, too manipulated and too silly to see everyone celebrating like, yay, we shorted it and now look at it drop. Everybody buy it back up. It's like, no. How about no? So, yeah, they shorted it and they expected people to buy it back up, and now people aren't buying it back up, and they're scared shitless because they're getting liquidated. Because like that story on Moomoo, they all shorted it. They all watched their cash cow give them the money, and at the same time they were killing their golden goose and they didn't know it. And then once it bottomed, they bought back up and they said, yay, yay, everybody buy back in, everybody buy back in, everybody buy back in. And now they've just been liquidated. They've just been taken out of their positions. So now that we get some of these crypto whales out of here, this will start to bottom. But I think they need to cut more whales out. I think they're going to drop it all the way down. They're going to break Saylor from his Bitcoin, is my guess. They're gonna wipe out those greedy whales that killed their cash cow. And yep, that's what I believe is going to happen here. And I actually would not be surprised with an absolute just bloodbath. Like maybe even tomorrow. Just for no reason. Just to absolutely wipe those whales out. Any of them that tried to buy back in or that are trying to save themselves from getting liquidated. Because I wouldn't be surprised to see a huge like hammer candle, like drop it all the way down to 59 and buy it all the way back up to 77 or 78 within this month. Now that it's February and it's at 78, I could totally see that. Drop it down to 59 and bring it back up to 78 this month. But I wouldn't touch any of it personally. And I've been saying that for a while. I mean, I got my crypto down to a fraction of a fraction. It's so little, I literally do not care about it. It can go to zero, and I wouldn't bat an eyelash over it. That's how little of my account is in crypto. But yeah, Ripple holding this looks good. If someone was looking at crypto and Dogecoin holding that looks good. As strange as that is. Let's look at some others. Tether. See, that's showing a new low. What a hideous, crazy chart. Good night. Oh, this is the US dollar Tether coin. That's why. Oh, I should never look at that. Same with this one. Yeah, these are all starting to squeeze down. And that broke the low. Let's look at Litecoin. Litecoin has held the low. So Litecoin looks okay for now. Nope. Broke that. For H bar broke that low. Let's look at Stellar holding that low. Now, I doubt they hold it if we have a bloodbath. Oh, that looks really good. I mean, that's holding it very well. That's like holding it very well, like XRP very well. But I doubt any of those any of these would survive a bloodbath from Bitcoin. Oh, let's look at Shiba while we're here. No. But yeah, if we get a huge bloodbath, I doubt many of these survive. Which would allow them to concentrate that inflation. It would allow them to direct where that inflation, where they're going to put that money from the inflation, which is into their own pockets. So once they wipe out a bunch of these coins and they've wiped out the Michael Saylors of the world and the whales, then they can buy it all in their ETFs and sell you the ETFs with crazy fees and everything else. The whole system is all about control. What was he? Oh, yes. Let's look at gold while we're here. Let's see, where do you even count this? 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, this is clearly a 2012 to 2023 cup and handle. I mean, we can see that. And by the way, I just want to point something out here really quick. This is what the market looks like it's doing to me. And then see how this explodes out of here. This is what I think we're in for. This is what I think we're in for with the Qs. Because let's go to the Qs. And it won't be this quarterly schedule, but let's go to the Qs on a, let's say, weekly. See all that chop in there? That looks very similar to that gold chart on the quarterly right here. This chop up through here. Now, what do we do with gold? A healthy pullback would be to 358. A really healthy pullback would be to 238. But again, how do you drop gold when you're printing a bunch of money? On a weekly scale, we look like we could drop. But I wouldn't. 425 is support. Everything's pointing up. I mean, if this dropped 400, 410 would be my hold range. But the money, I think, is shifting from the metals right at this moment to oil. So let's take a long look at oil. Look at where we are down here. Now here is where I'm gonna make an IM disclaimer for this chart right here. If you showed me this chart and it was tech, oh, this is yearly, so it did have a big move at the beginning, so I wouldn't hate it. Anyways, I'd have to look at it. But normally I don't like charts that go down like this. We know that, right? This is oil. I'm not betting against oil going lower or to zero anytime in the next 20 years. So if you show me an oil chart of oil commodity and say it's near a bottom, I will just instinctively buy it. Now, not oil companies, because oil companies can still go to zero while oil itself goes up. But oil from here only higher. So that's why when I see this chart, I'm thinking, well, clearly oil is at the bottom. Qs are at the top. Does anybody see what might cause a problem here? Do you think if this starts going up, back up here, this is going to stay elevated? Well, this is gold. Does anybody think this is going to stay elevated if oil starts running up? I don't. So that's why this is near the end of its move. This is near the end of its move. I just gold higher forever. Just no thought. Oil is at the beginning of its move. So this is where you want to be for the next 40-year run. Well, 20. We'll go 20-year cycles. Q's finishing a 20-year cycle. Oil's about to start a 20-year cycle. Actually, it just did. So we've got 18 more years. 17 more years. So don't be afraid of those oil stocks. Quarterly, look at that. Look at it squeezing. I mean, this is, look at it. Look at it. I keep yelling, look at it. That thing is breaking out. I mean, it's breaking out right in everybody's face. And everybody's fearful and I don't know. I don't know what. Just this is the sector to be in. You've got to I'll be generous. You've got a 15-year runway here. Look at that. I mean, on the monthly, we're just breaking out. On the weekly, just breaking out. And you know it's going to get pullbacks here. We're going to shoot up, we're going to get pullbacks. Going to shoot up, going to get pullbacks. So when you ask me, is oil okay to buy? I may go, what's the quarterly chart look like? What's the yearly chart look like? Where do you think we are in the cycle? Why are we bailing here? Why are we bailing? Why are we panicking ourselves out of the market here when we have this to look forward to? We've got hey, play along, Moo Moo. Oh, it doesn't let me extend past this. Yeah. It won't let me go past that. But anyways, we're going to inverse this. So if I could copy this and flip it around and mirror it off of this point here, that's about what we're going to do. And see, it gets crazier at the end. The fifth waves are always blow-offs on super cycles. So yeah, at the end of this 17 whatever years, it's going to go crazy and blow off. But I mean, we've got to go into the hundreds from here, and not just ones, $200, $300, $400. This is the place to be, oil. And speaking of that, let's just go to some oil stocks. Let's just go to Chevron. And you say, well, I am. Chevron's got to be ending its cycle. I don't think so. I think this is just starting. Look at this. We have yet to break this peak right here. And we even drop below it. This is a big old 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, we're just going up from here. We're just getting started. This thing is just starting. SM Energy, another one that I like. 1, 2. I mean, these are all just getting ready. Martin Midland. Let's see what this is going to do. This is a leading diagonal here. We see this? Here's your big wave up. Here's your lightning down. And now we're getting ready to flip and lightning back up out of this. Here we are, a $2 stock. Towards the end of this 20-year run, we could be $52, $84. $52 to $84 out of this. COVID couldn't break it, and that's the key. If they held the COVID low, we can ride this. COVID didn't break this. Rig, this is another one that I love. Rig is in the Indo and Rig. they used to move similar to me. Look at this, just breaking out. It's just breaking out, and look at this candle. Look at this candle back here. It's like, oh yeah, that was wave one. That was wave one. Kids at home, those scoring at home. That's why I get these stupid numbers up here. I mean, this can get crazy stupid. And you want to know why? I don't know. My guess is that China's forced to buy from them. But look, they held that low even. Oh, that's COVID. Yeah. Okay. Held the COVID low. So that $80 is just wave one. This is going to be, oh man. One day you guys are going to thank me on this. Cosmos Energy, one of my favorites again. And again, normally I would hate this chart. If you showed me this chart, I would hate it. But this is my caveat. We're talking if you're in oil or precious metals, I'll give you a pass as long as you hold the COVID lows. If you're in those companies and you held the COVID lows, okay, let's play ball. But again, I think this is a big 1, 2, and then we blast out of here. And my targets for Cosmos are up in the 20s, up in the Cosmos. Let me see if I can get to a chart that would show that. And it would be the Qs, most likely. Cosmos will take how long? Again, this is a 20-year energy cycle that started at the COVID lows. We had our bounce, and now we're just taking off. So the 20-year cycle started technically back in November of 2025. So you have 20 years from there about on that energy run. And that 20 for a target for Cosmos, that could just be the wave one of the super cycle. You don't know what it's going to be. So that's why I'm half hazardly joking. Like you guys are all selling Indo in here. Like, yay, thanks. I am, 30% gains, whatever, and I'm happy for you. That's good, but I'm buying it back up. I'm buying it back up like crazy on red days because I'm looking for this. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for these payouts. I don't care about pennies in front of this steamroller that's coming. I would rather have the shares than not. So if selling them for profit, if I don't need to sell them for profit, if that's not a need for me, I have no desire to get rid of shares. I want to accumulate shares. So when they're red, I'll be buying. Okay. So now let's see if I can do this. Oh, another one I just found, ARQ, by the way. Because look at this. This thing held not just the COVID lows, this thing held the crash, the bubble crash, the .com crash lows. And this is emissions. But this is another one that I'm looking to blast out of here for years. Okay. So I'll go to go back to the cues for this question because I got a question that came in. Explain the difference between bullish divergence versus bearish hidden divergence. Okay, this is going to be tough. And with divergent, it's going to be tough because these are a lot of, like, here's a flat, this is a flat. Let me see if I can find one that has, that'll have a good example. This is a pretty decent example. Okay. So the bullish divergence. Oh, I thought this was a better example. Just kidding. Where could I get a good example of that? Okay, we'll try with this. Let's blow this up. So there's a trend line. And here's your RSI. So actually that one blew up. So this will be both examples. So there's bullish divergence. See that? Price drops. RSI remains higher. Now back here, you had price drop, but the RSI dropped lower with it. So that's what caused this rally to fail. And again, you had the bullish divergence on the smaller time frame. and you really had it. See how it really picked up right here? I mean, look at this bullish divergence. And then the negative in the same right there. So this is just a more confirmation if you're watching this. If you were just watching this chart drop, and this is South American oil, so this is something that I want to own for the next 20 years. So I'm watching this because I want to get a good price, and I see it bounce, and I say, oh, we have bullish divergence here. Okay, let's see what it does because we're on a trend line. Now we're below the 5, we're below the mid Bollinger. We've got the sloping trend, so we're hoping to bottom pick this here. So we buy this bounce, we get this bounce, but then what happens? We break through that. So now we know that this structure from here all the way over has failed. So this is not a bullish structure. This is not a reversal structure. This is just a correction within this downtrend. So you got stopped out of that. So now you wait. And you're watching these. You got a little bullish divergence here. This is dropping. You get a little bullish divergence. You buy that. You hit that 5 MA. You can't close above it. So this is a daily. So you hit that 5 MA. You can't close above it. Are you going to hold overnight? Nope. So you sell. And now you're waiting again. So now you get down here and you get this big move. You get this bullish divergence. You're still kind of shell shocked because this has kicked you out a few times. But then you get this bullish divergence, and this comes down, and you get this crossover. On this day, you're above the 5 MA. So you start buying in here in the 7s, in the upper 7s. And you go, and now you're getting tossed around in here. But look where you are on your RSI. You're okay. You're not getting blown out here. So you hold. And you hold. And you hold. And we're still holding. And we get this. We're now at almost double. We were buying in the 7s. And this is the longer time frame on this, by the way, which this stock is going to be an absolute monster. But here's another divergence for you here. This is a really good one because this is on a weekly, and this has them all over the place. So there's a great bullish divergence, and actually it goes all the way over here, doesn't it? I mean, that's a great bullish divergence. And then you just look at this. This is your low on price. And look at these when that dropped through like this. I'm sure people panicked and sold out. But look how low your RSI was, and you held price. And you did the same thing here. I mean, they're just trying to crash people out of this stock. And what that does is that just resets everything. So you reset your RSI, you reset everything back to where you can have big bullish pressure, buying pressure again. All you're doing is relieving the pressure on the stock. But this is going to be just such a monster. A dividend paying monster. Yes, I think IRON and APLD will probably be affected by the crypto sell-off. I was going to look at IRON anyways because I noticed IRON has earnings on Friday, I think. So I want to see it sell down into earnings. See if this is, there's two schools of thought here on a Livermore cylinder on where we're at. We either get another blast up and then we correct and crash, which is kind of my belief, or this is it because we Livermore down here, we spiked up, back, retest, and then crash. Actually back into this range, $10, $10.50. This RSI is really interesting. And this is a complete leading diagonal, which is why I do expect us to crash hard out of this. Whether that's now or later in the year. I would expect this to spike up and then crash down. But that's just my thought. Yeah, they report on Friday. So I was leaning bullish, but the more I look, the more I think they may shoot it down. This may get taken down with crypto. And yeah, see how you haven't broken any of these RSI drops? I need to start cleaning this up. All right, let's look at silver since we looked at gold. Silver's interesting because look how oversold we got. Look how low that RSI went. go all the way back to the beginning. One, two. Again, we're in a 3. One, two, 1, 2. Still blasting off in that 3. Actually, I kind of expect this to $70. I kind of expect this to get bought up. I mean, maybe we go to 66. I thought maybe with 50, 55 would hold. But I don't think that anymore. I think since we shot up so high, I think now the bottom has moved up. So it very possibly could have bottomed already. If you want to buy physical silver, I would say any day that it's red, buy physical silver. If you want to buy silver, this, yeah, let's just look at it. Man, it looks like they want to buy this up. But the RSI should drop, so I don't know. Way out of the Bollinger. So again, the 55. That number keeps popping up, 55. So I think we could get continued selling if we don't just reverse this. Next support would be around $66. This Dragonfly Doji here. All right. I'm going to wrap it up and go to bed here. All right. Just again, I'm going to go back to the cues. Hello. The quarterly, look at that close on a doji. That is so funny. Just out of curiosity, I was wondering if we had that before. This kind of. When was that? 2021. Up from there. But this is bullish to me. And look how RSI is turning up. This is bullish to me that the sellers couldn't get follow through. I don't know Monday. I need to see futures open. Right now, they're projected to open down 80 points, I think. And that's, I mean, that's nothing. So that's what I want to see. I want to see how buyers start reacting. Monday, I expect follow through, honestly. I expect it to drop. 617, 618, maybe as low as 613. But I expect it to drop Monday, and then I expect it to start picking back up. All right. But that, yeah, I think we push out of here. But again, we are getting oh so close to the end. I mean, here's my fives right in here. So there's my fives. That's where the party's over. And again, I think it's sometime in November, although we could push to 2029, 2030. We'll see. These 5 waves can really extend. But that's just this was all just long-term view of the markets. All right, everybody. Be wise, be safe, and as always, good luck.